All right, everybody, what's going on? It's your boy Jay Banks. Tuesday, back in the saddle, bro. It's been cold this week.
It has been cold.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling like the new year has been it came really fast, got through the holidays, and now it seems like things are kind of like slowing down again on their own. This year doesn't seem like it's flying by quite as fast as the end of the year went, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. Hey, what's up?
Brett Newspickle in the building.
Yeah, but I'm feeling great. I feel like the cold weather, everyone being stuck at home, has been giving a lot of people cabin fever. So now we're starting to warm up, and that ice is starting to melt a little, which is nice. But yeah, man, excited for this episode. We're gonna talk some AI. We're gonna talk a little bit about the future and the now, and how the past is impacting the present and future, because we got arcade machines on our mind right now. So, but,
yeah, dude, I can't wait for that.
Oh,
man.
I'm so excited.
So,
Yep.
so for anyone that pays attention to my Facebook page, I've been working on a wrap for an arcade unit that we're collaborating with Chris Brock. I'll introduce you guys if you haven't met him in a second. But he is like an AI genius, man. He's you've been doing this since. I guess I should go ahead and just introduce you, because you've been doing the AI thing since 2022, right? So it's new. You know, it's the AI realm is fairly new, but you got in like right when it first started popping off. Am I right when I say that?
Yeah, in December 2022, set up a Facebook group called ChatGPT for Business and Life. It's now called AI for Business and Life, but it grew really fast. It started off with like a great development community, the people that were really early on to build stuff. Mm-hmm. And over the last 2 years, because we're 2 years into this now, a little over 2 years of generative AI, that it's grown to 300,000 members. It's one of the larger AI communities on the entire internet, which is super cool.
That's incredible, man. You know, especially because you've got, you know, when you're looking for Facebook groups, you're always looking for who's got the most members in the group, because that's where you find like not only the most chatter, that's like the most active, the one that people have gravitated towards, you know what I mean? Because it's like it's the one that doesn't stay stagnant. There's so many Facebook groups out there that somebody creates it and they forget about it, or they don't really care about it. They just put it together because at the time it was something cool. But for you, this is like an everyday thing, man. Like this is, you know, this AI. This is what, you know, you've been meant to do. It's like you've been waiting for this moment, for this Pandora's box to open.
Yeah, like I've been coding for 15 years now. Once I was sort of in college, I built something, and then out of college, like just sort of made it my career instead of going to grad school. And at that time, it was like social media hit, mobile phones hit. You know, the iPhone was a big deal. Android devices, the first smartphone was a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
Like, let's say this 2010-ish, a little bit before then. But that was a big time frame. Well, with AI, it's that next big wave. Blockchain was sort of cool. There's a lot of things that are neat there, but it didn't, like, fundamentally change the world. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't applicable to everybody. AI is applicable to everybody almost in every circumstance,
For sure.
and I don't think we've seen like a ubiquitous major solution that's ever hit at this level, unless you're looking at like the smartphone, and before that, you know, maybe the internet, and then before that maybe the telephone and electricity. And if you ask some people in AI, they even say like fire. So is this like the best solution that humanity's ever created?
I've heard that. I was actually reading an article a while ago, more than a year plus ago, that it's come to the point where like the internet and everything that's affecting people is affecting them more than what the original like most like fire, and like it's at that level of how it's impacting humans' movement in society. You know what I mean? It's literally technology, and the internet has surpassed many different things. Like they're like sliced bread has surpassed that kind of a thing. And I was reading on that, I was like, and they're saying statistically it really is. It just is that. I mean, it's bringing more money than anything. I mean, think about like what we're talking about at Native now is Whatnot app. Yeah. We're there, and that's not even AI doing. I mean, I'm sure they have AI built into their system, but like that's just where we're at right now to make money. You know what I mean? That's literally the forefront of our minds. And because the internet has brought so much power to that, like we've talked to Gary Vee selling wine on the internet back in the day, and now we're here. So I think that's make a really good point. When I was reading that article, I thought it was a little outlandish, but I started like bringing it in my conversations with people. Like, hey, they're talking about it's more impactful than fire. Like that's pretty crazy to think about, but I mean, if you really start to think about it and how you're explaining it, like, it doesn't seem that far-fetched, for real.
I think that scaffolding humanity is very important. Like, if we don't have electricity and you don't have warmth, fire is much cooler than AI. You know, so there's a lot of things that got to be going right with humanity.
Yeah, exactly.
But as far
structurally,
as like something that gives us a phenomenal capability, this guy named Ethan Mullick, he's Wharton School of Business AI sort of theorist, wrote some books called Co-Intelligence. He's calling AI our co-intelligence. And what I'm believing is that, like, imagine, have you ever heard of the term polymath or a Renaissance man?
Yep.
Or imagine that there's this capability that if you were really, like, capable before AI and, like, you had the ability, like Rain Man, to, like, count everything, and then you had the ability to be a doctor and understand things about a doctor, or if you're like Leonardo da Vinci, you just were excellent at a diverse realm of things. They're saying now, like, hey, that would be a person with a polymath capability. They're like a generalist, but they're really good at a lot of things. AI, if you were a polymath, is giving you a capability right now that could be hundreds, if not thousands of times more efficient than normal people without AI. So I think we're going to start seeing these power users of AI that we may move into like a golden era, a Renaissance era of thought. Imagine if we solve cancer, because we can think with AI and we could have the best thinkers, the humans in the loop that were already brilliant.
Right.
If they can apply this AI to their field, maybe they can solve things that were never solvable before.
You think that? I mean, I have a theory that they've already solved the cure for cancer, but the big farm is kind of keeping that from people. If they could bring it to the grassroots human level where a scientist on a DIY level could do it, that's what we're talking about. I mean,
it's definitely something to think about. Like, there's regulatory capture, meaning like maybe there's regulations, meaning you can't even get it turned on or give it to people if you had the solution. Maybe there's cancer that's a very general word, and maybe there's millions of types of ailments. But with AI, you can have a personalized assessment that could
break it down,
solve your problem. This is exactly your problem. Not this. An epidemiologist would be a person that like examines big data sets of people, like why they die of certain, maybe influenza or whatever it may be.
The ghost.
The ghost of the brick. Speaking of that, when we were at the Cincy AI Week, we met with Everett.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everett. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was
Party.
Yes, he had the AI that was working on like pitchers' shoulders so they could see where the issue was to prolong a pitcher's career, when to take them out, how to maybe fix their windup, whatever the case may be. So if they're using AI on that level in the MLB or in the farm system, if you will, like the power of that is insane to be able to pinpoint where a pitcher, though he might be a stud, but he might be doing this 0.5 wrong thing where over a course of time, 5 pitches more each game will accumulate to 500 pitches, and then his arm's going to see early, wear and tear over the course of years. Yeah, so that AI coming in and checking on his arm to where they can fix the problem before it becomes something bigger is, that's practical and amazing.
Yeah, what's crazy? I just read an article that Josh Allen, like 4 days ago, came out and said that he was using biometrics to figure out how to throw the ball better without hurting himself.
Yeah, he went back to
So,
he's country strong, and he just had to figure it out.
Yeah,
literally, he's just a big boy. He's hard to stop.
Yeah, it's crazy, but. The AI thing that's going on, man, it's like, everyone's worried about it, and like everyone's, now we open up Pandora's box. You see stuff online, like videos, and it's like you're already at the point now where it's like, is this real or is this fake? You know what I mean?
Yeah. But you
um,
can kind of see it. I feel like if I'm looking at an image,
six fingers,
my brain,
another arm.
Yeah, my brain will pick up.
But
that
how long until
it's not that?
Weeks, right? Like
Weeks in AI fixing the AI's imperfections.
Yeah, because it's crazy to see like that Will Smith video. When did that come out? The Will Smith AI
So there was
video.
one that came out like probably 2 years
When he
ago,
was eating,
and
like,
then there's like a year later spaghetti.
Yeah.
And now the most modern one, he's eating it, and it looks very legitimate.
Yeah.
You know, so AI is progressing super fast. There's things that are happening across the board that we were just mentioning, like the video system, the capability to do multimodal AI is so
Multimodal.
unbelievable. So multimodal, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when you're using AI right now, it could be like text. And when I talk about AI, I'm thinking generative AI. That's what I'm most interested in.
Prompt it gives you something back.
Yes.
Yes,
Like
okay.
generative AI is like doing things and creating an output, not just like automating a task necessarily. It's like a little bit of a cognitive thing. So this generative AI stuff has really only been out since really 2017 in labs, but only 2 years old. And in the last year, they've added something called multimodal. Multimodal means you have text, but you also have video, you have audio, you have a lot of cool things. Like I think I can do an example here. So
Yeah.
imagine you open up ChatGPT, and out of the box, something that would take a lot of programming, like power and compute a few years ago, and almost like unobtainable. You couldn't pay enough to like build this system out. Now we have this ability to go through ChatGPT and turn on the app and then turn on the video. Okay, and now this system is now looking at what we're looking at. So I'm going to tell it, we are on the Native on the Levee podcast. We're talking about AI. What do you think about this podcast setup?
The podcast setup looks great. It's cozy and inviting, which is perfect for a discussion about AI. The colorful lights and casual seating arrangement create a relaxed atmosphere, making it easy for guests to engage in meaningful conversation. Are you planning to discuss any specific AI topics?
Damn, she's interested.
We're in this retail environment, and Native's just super awesome. This is their store. It's very futuristic. It sort of has like a Meow Wolf sort of experiential experience. It has some really cool Cincinnati gear, and would love to know what your thoughts are on the future of AI in retail, especially in brick and mortar shops like this.
The future of AI in retail, especially for innovative stores like this, is incredibly exciting. AI can enhance customer experiences by providing personalized recommendations and optimizing inventory management. It can also create immersive interactive environments that draw customers in. For a store like Native, AI could help in creating unique customized shopping experiences and managing inventory efficiently. It's a great way to blend technology with the physical retail environment to create something truly special.
So will you help us do that later?
Absolutely. I'd be happy to help.
Isn't that wild?
That is insane.
That's cool as shit.
That is, she was so specific, and she mentioned interactive, which I really liked that she brought that into the conversation as the interactive aspect and immersive. And she was excited about, and she mentioned the productivity of like how she could like utilize stock. How like,
And-
she just didn't mention the tech side. She mentioned like the practical side, I guess you could say too.
Right. So
Yeah.
imagine what we were doing. We were talking to it, so there was some audio, but then it was using video to actually look at what it was seeing in the podcast setup.
That's crazy.
And it's able to label things so correctly. It's mind-blowing. It's absolutely unbelievable that we now have AI that can use a video to tell us what's going on. And like, I don't know if you've seen the Meta Ray-Bans that are out.
Yeah.
It's a really cool technology. Imagine
Yeah.
being able to have an AI intelligence that's attached to what you're seeing. It can sort of like,
Tell you what plant you're looking at, or tell you what dog you're looking at. Yeah.
it could, if
Do
you're in
more
another
with-
country, it could probably read to you what's on the signs.
See, he's way better than I am. I'm over like, what dog is that?
Red Dog is it?
Yeah, it would
Yeah.
work for both. It would work for everything. That's what makes it so, like, when I was talking about polymath, imagine this intelligence knows so much. It knows every breed of dog. It knows the best McKinsey and Company or Accenture level consulting, which are like high-end consultants for big organizations. It knows the best in any collegiate level thought. So every business leader ever is like in this. And now our capability is to just tap into it. And I would recommend like leveraging it and almost over leveraging it in a way that it gives us a strategic advantage right now, where the world's going to, like, I think, move between people that are using AI, people that are not using AI, and then you're going to have this subset of power users of AI that are going to be incredibly capable in ways that humans were never capable before.
For sure. Yeah, pushing the boundaries of what we even knew you could do. Yeah, I'm here for it, man. The app that you just showed everybody, is that something that anybody can download, and is that like a monthly fee?
Yeah, that one is ChatGPT by OpenAI direct. You can get it on your phone. I have an iPhone. You can get it on Android as well. This model's the $20 model. You get some freemium options with the app that you can use and like play with AI and like use their text models for free. You can have caps, so you can't get as much work done as, like, you know, people that are paying a higher tier, but you do have that ability to use it. But $20, it's the best $20 you can spend a month to get the utility value out of what you're doing.
For sure.
Claude by Anthropic is another one. If you're a coder, I like Anthropic quite a bit. What's amazing with it is that it can code and render dashboards or render code right within it. You can give it a prompt and it can write code and show you what the code will look like, which is phenomenal. But what I just showed was ChatGPT, which has the better multimodal solution.
Okay. Yeah, that's crazy how quickly she gathered all the information and was just like immediately able to spit something back. All right, so we're doing some updating here at Native, right? We've got some alien stuff that we're doing in the back in the lab. We're going to update all that back there, and I've got something coming that I'm super excited about. It's an old school telephone that when you pick it up, it automatically starts playing a voicemail. So it's actually a message, and then you can leave a voicemail. So like my idea was to try to get a hold of Lonnie Manella, who does the voice of Nancy Drew, and have her do like a 1 minute, like, hey, like, you found the lab, like, this is Nancy Drew, so, you know, like whatever the mystery thing is. But is that something that I could even do on like a ChatGPT, where I've got like a Joe Rogan voice message, or like anybody, Superman, Spider-Man?
So this is super cool. Like, in fact, like over the like sort of holidays, my family went down to Universal Studios.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
And in the Harry Potter world, they have like one of these English style telephone booths, right? And if you go into it, and this is the amazing thing, what it should have done, because we looked it up, but it didn't do. It was broken. If you typed in on the rotary phone, you put in magic as the number, it would play something from like Harry Potter speaking to you.
Oh, cool.
But it was down. So, I think we could do it here, and we'd be better off than Universal because their system's broken. Yeah. Maybe they could hire us to fix theirs in the future.
All right.
Okay. But I think it's a really cool idea. It can definitely be done. You can use something called like HeyGen to create voice. There's other platforms out there that are doing voice really well. There's some systems that will allow you to use celebrity voices. Can you or can you not use them? That's like an ethical question, but can you build them? Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
And yeah, you could probably make it so like people could get a message by typing in a number. It'd be like a slick environment. I think it'd be like a really cool thing to try. So I like the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the idea of having people be able to leave messages for the mad scientist, right? Or leave them like, how was your experience? So then, they just pick the phone up and they don't even know why, if the phone's going to work or whatever. But as soon as you pick it up, if you hear like a Nancy Drew, or if you hear somebody famous talking about like, congratulations, you found the lab, and now you've actually found the mad scientist
so
phone.
So get this. Shout out to Alden Du Rosario. Imagine that you have a set of information and a persona that you want this person to speak as.
Mm-hmm.
Pick a voice. Like, the easier would be like pick one sort of off the shelf. The harder would be to like have a little bit more of a celebrity one. But off the cuff right now, we can have it set up where you can dial a number and you can talk to a persona that's trained on a data set or a website. Okay, so if it was about aliens, you could like have like Roswell Conspiracy's website and probably import it all in, and this bot could talk all about Roswell.
Oh,
and
no.
you could have its persona be it's you're talking to an alien, or you're talking to the mad scientist. You could, like, it would be a cool project. We should like really check this out.
Yeah.
This technology has become so accessible that I would say in October of this year was the first ones I really saw deployed at scale that weren't used for like sales calls and CRM. For like solar companies and automotive were using like automated call centers and things. Now I think you do something really cool based upon some technology that like came out in October, and maybe do something like that for $25 a month. Unbelievable. And you could actually have it not just like one static message. You could actually have the people talk to it.
Oh,
They
no
could like
kidding.
literally call the mad scientist.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
That is awesome.
Yeah, like have a Mad Hatter vibe or something like that.
That's what we're
with it.
going for.
That's what we're going for. Literally, it's coming. Yeah, it's cool that it's happening right in front of our eyes. I think that's the coolest part about most of this conversation is you're mentioning October just happened. You're
Yeah.
mentioning the times it's happening like literally real time as we're seeing it unfold, and you're on the front lines of that. So how, like, when you're doing your research, is there any like trusted sources that you kind of like go to, any like newsletter, anything AI that's like in the news this week of AI that you kind of really trust, or any friends that do any of the promotion
like,
for it? Yeah.
So opening up this group 2 years ago, it's opened me up to like a lot of great ecosystems. Shout out to Boston. Harvard and MIT have been awesome. A guy named Paul Beyer, he runs GAI Insights. He's also a fellow at Harvard. Him and his Dr. John is on his team at GAI Insights. He's also a Harvard fellow, so been very fortunate to connect with their group. John Werner and all these amazing people at the MIT Media Lab. There's C10 Labs. There's MIT Orbit, which is a platform that the Martin Trust School of Entrepreneurship have given me access to give to organizations and people and startups to help them write a whole business plan with a prompt. So MIT's been very great to us. A lot of conferences have been great to us. The AI conference in San Francisco and a few others that have really connected us with the unicorns in tech. So it's been a super unique 2 years because everybody's been growing and doing. And with this ecosystem of access, I've got to see it like sort of live every day, and seeing it by the people that are doing it. So it's like sitting in the front row, which has been super cool. And then I feel my sort of job is to distribute it out to the people that, don't get to experience it necessarily firsthand, but how can they like experience what's happening in San Francisco here in Cincinnati? I think that's super important because they are doing different things in different communities.
For sure.
And technology is so ubiquitous, and all you got to have is a device. So we're so turned on to it, we just don't even know it exists, so that's why we're here. Like how do we share this message of give this stuff a try? Because it'll change the entire dynamic of the future. Like AI, like I think it works in, you ask like, who do I go to? Like really it's more by context and situation. What's the context? What's the situation? And what can I do in that situation with AI to improve it? Shout out to a guy named Danny Fresh, the barber. Okay, so I was at his place. Let's see, this was in September 5th.
Danny Fresh is dope, man.
2023, right?
Okay, yeah, nice.
I'm in there, and Emory Jones came in. He was a new quarterback, transferred in, all this money with the NIL and stuff like that. I don't know if he got that or not, but I know he came in like a senior and had a leadership role. He came in as like a quarterback. Okay, so and he was like just in town, so he wanted to get like freshened up. And we're in there, and I asked him if he's ever used AI. And he's like, no, I've heard about it. I haven't used it. I'm like, so I put it on his phone and told him, like, hey, this is how I would use AI in order to come into a new leadership position in a sports team that's a high level, D1, high level sports team.
Oh, yeah.
How can you be a leader? How can you connect? How can you make a winning program? How can you use this to be your nutrition trainer? If you're trying to get to the league, how can you gamify your AI to get you to the league that cares solely about you because it knows everything about you, your goals, your wants, your needs, your body physiology, your capabilities? The more you load into it, the AI can know.
Yeah.
So I bring this story up because his first game out, he scored 7 touchdowns.
Oh shit.
What?
Yes. And I'm not saying it was me,
Yeah.
because,
Right.
but I think the AI gave him the run out for that first game to be so advanced. And I don't know if he held up through the season or what, but all I can tell you, I showed him AI in September, and the first time he put on his pads, scored 7 touchdowns.
Yeah.
You know, so if that's the capability that AI can give, even if it's that little bit of an edge, like,
Yeah.
why wouldn't you leverage it all the time? And if the tough thing with AI is that there's not a book or a real, like, there's not someone that's already done it.
Right.
Hey, there's not somebody that's been doing it for 7 years or 20 years. It's just not.
Right.
You know, so you're almost a pioneer, and you got to, like, cover a lot of ground to say yes to use AI. A lot of people fear AI.
Right.
They think they're like either Terminator or it's too technical,
End of
or they have
times.
other stuff going on.
Yeah, a lot of fear in that. You know, I think the fear is what's gonna allow people like yourself and like ourselves as well
To thrive.
to
yeah.
thrive and get ahead before. Like, we've been talking about AI for a while. I mean, I feel like we've been having conversations since we met you, and we're talking
Years now.
years
yeah.
now. So, and we're still like in the obviously the infancy stages of it, but like people are kind of utilizing it micro, like, but once it hits the point where like you go into like a Walmart and it's a part of your shopping experience, and like you ask, I can only imagine they were like you be able to ask like what's in these different products at like a station, and it will give you all the information right then and there. Like,
Yeah, there's an app that does that. It's called Yuka, Yuca. Joe Rogan was talking about it the other day, and you can literally just be at the grocery store, take a picture of whatever you want, and it will send you back like the health benefits, the negative benefits, like the products in it that are bad for you. Like technology's
Yeah.
crazy, bro,
No,
and
I
it's
can see
coming so fast, bro.
yeah, and I think it's gonna be where it's so accessible because it's gonna be in our faces. So, like, you see like the images or the videos of people putting the glasses on, and you're watching the world through like the Ray-Bans or the Meta glasses. But like, can you imagine it being like every screen or everything has information value? There's information stations everywhere, and you go in there and you learn something like about wherever you're standing, history about or everything around me. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we're coming to a point where society's they're gonna embrace it at one point, but the fear right now is really holding back that micro move to make it so it's an everyday thing.
It happens all the time, bro.
Yeah.
I was talking with my wife just the other day. We went to Burger King, and they've got the 2 windows, but they only use one of them.
Yeah.
And I told her, I was like, when they first came out with that second window, people wouldn't go to it. Like they thought it was a complete disaster because nobody wanted to give the money and not get your food. And Kaylin was like, why wouldn't they just drive to the second window and get their food? It's like, because this was back, the no credit card days when they were it's like they want the cash, they want the food. This is all they know. And so I don't want to move up to the next window. Give me my food. You know what I mean? Like you just gotta get used to it.
Yeah, you trust the
But
system.
now Burger King's the only one that doesn't use 2 windows. They always build their places with 2 windows, but only use the second one.
I wonder why you just
Then because they can resell the building guaranteed if they
easier
have
to
to.
sell if they have 2 windows. Yeah, or yeah.
But that's just how it is, man. When it comes to society, people don't like change. As soon as change happens, they get scared of it until somebody like Apple comes out and makes it seamless with the phone. You know what I mean? Like as soon as I don't have to go to some website and buy coins to be able to utilize the AI or whatever. As soon as it's adapted into the phones, which I know Apple's been pushing it hard, but it's still confusing to use. And at some point, it's going to get easier and easier, where you'll just be able to open up your camera, like you're saying, and the AI is already going to be attached to it. So it's what you're saying with that ChatGPT. I can see, within 2 years, that ChatGPT app going, we've got something better than that. You guys can have this. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like we've got something that's way better. But it's gonna end up being something where it's like, they've got to dumb it down for society to make it work, right? Or they don't, and then the people like Chris Brock, they run with it and they thrive, and then we're all sitting here going, what app is that?
What app? Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Where do I download that? Where do I have to give my money? But it's here, bro. It's here, and it's fascinating. Like after going to your event and meeting, before Andrew and I went. We were both like not in the dark about it, but we were novices. We were thinking same thing everyone else is. Oh, I can create cool photos on a website or something.
Midjourney,
yeah. Midjourney was like the top spectrum for him and I. But once we went to your event, it was like we're meeting all these people, and one guy's doing agriculture with it, like where they can help the farmers out where they can tell them how much water they have to use. And then Emrit Leopardi, who's working with the MLB. And afterwards, like Andrew and I had this conversation, like this is way bigger than we both thought, dude. You know what I mean? Because we're thinking on such a micro scale on, it would be cool to make a dinosaur eating ramen noodles. You know what I mean? But
right.
But you guys are thinking like, how do I get Paul Skeens to not have to have Tommy John surgery 3 years after his rookie year?
Literally, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's incredible to see that people are adapting to it. They're able to see, what AI can do, and then go, well, I can use it for this. You know what I mean? Or like we can do it for that. Because you told us years ago, and it's I tell everybody that comes in here, like when we talk about Chris Brock, I'm like, this guy years ago would just type in a story and tell it to his kids before bedtime, and like that was one of the things. And I'm like, dude, like how amazing is that? Because you're connecting with your kids, you're showing your kids the future of technology, and at the same time, the dog can be the superhero in the story that ChatGPT or AI wrote, and all you had to do is just put in the prompts, like a what's that one book where you just it's got blanks and you put them in and then you read them and it's all funny. Ad libs. Just like that. You just put the words in and it'll create a story for you, man. It's absolutely insane that's just the beginning of where this is going to be able to go.
It's not only just the beginning, but it's to the point where we're at this discovery mode where people are getting ambitious with it. And I think that's the best part, is people are like, hey, I can do this. I can make money from this. I can be an entrepreneur. And eventually I think a lot of these entrepreneur ideas will become so regular that you won't be able to make money like you once did. It'll become kind of in the free space.
For sure.
You know what I mean? But right now I love to see the people like jumping out there, and this AI,
it's
AI week,
Silicon
opened my
Valley
eyes
for everybody.
It opened my eyes to what a 23-year-old out of Boston is doing,
right, with
setting the AI up where people could pay $100 a month to just go through documents and find whatever word is, that is part of the case that they're working on for a law firm.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they're like, all right, we need to find every single time this person went to Walmart and whatever, and then the AI would pick up every time that name or that word is listed, and going through all that stuff and feeding them all the information and saving them so much time for an assistant or themselves doing it, and no sweat off anyone's back. AI doesn't get tired. So like that's just It's powerful.
Yeah.
And I think it's amazing, honestly.
You got. I feel like you're over there chomping at the bit.
Yeah,
man,
we-
trying
Oh
to-
no,
We're just
I love
dissecting
what
it.
you're saying. So you say that AI doesn't get tired. I time my AIs out all the time. Okay, so there are usage limits on AI.
Okay.
And it's gonna
All
get.
right.
They're gonna figure out how to make us pay for it. Like Sam Altman and OpenAI, they just opened up a $200 model a month for a little bit more unlimited usage of their latest model.
How's he still doing? How is he still run? Like that's Sam Altman Freeman, right?
No, so
Okay.
Sam Altman is the CEO
okay.
of OpenAI. Sam Bankman-Fried,
Bankman-Fried, yeah.
I think, is like who else got arrested and is in the same cell with Sam Bankman-Fried? There's somebody that's
Oh, really?
important. Oh, yeah, I forget who it is. Yeah, we'll have to look that up. But Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI, he put together a $200 model a month called Pro, and he just put out on X like a week ago saying that he didn't charge enough for it.
No shit.
And what's happening now with Anthropic and ChatGPT using the larger models, they give you like 30 prompts or 50 prompts or 100 prompts, and then they turn you off for either a couple hours or a couple days. Okay, till your
Days?
language days of your large language model, like your highest level. So imagine you have this genius, and like my first meme I ever had that started a group was Limitless. Did you ever see this movie Limitless with
Yeah.
Bradley
Yes.
Cooper?
Yeah.
Right? Like that was my first meme ever. Like because I started using ChatGPT. It started on like November 29th or 30th of 2022. Like I was hitting global bandwidth rates where they were turning me off in the first week
Wow.
of it. And it just said, you've hit global restriction limits. You're like, you're turned off for a while. And with that, I realized that, it's like Limitless. You have this pill in the movie and now you can do unlimited things.
Yeah.
Well, when he runs out of the pill, he becomes like a junkie or just like
Gotta get the pill, yeah.
discombobulated
Yeah.
and just can't function. AI is sort of working the same way. Imagine you have Einstein and Nikola Tesla and Edison and the head of Harvard and McKinsey and Company all at your fingertips, and then it turns off.
Right.
Like, what type of flow are you in? And then can you, as a person, continue that flow? You can't.
Right.
So there is like a usage that's going to get hit. So though it doesn't get tired, there's going to be a usage fee that coincides with it never getting tired.
Yeah.
So they're going to monetize it. And
So
what
that's
that
getting tired. That is like, it's the form.
it's going to
an
be like a
equivalency.
costing.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, that's a cost of you running for a long time. I mean, if you didn't get tired, you could run forever. Eventually, your body wears in. You have to put more fuel in. I mean, AI is going to have some kind of fuel, I guess. It runs, but someone is controlling the processing, right? Is that the issue? Because
Yeah.
the processing power costs them money, and they have to. It's like, is it kind of like restricting data?
Yeah, like
Like
imagine
on a
it'll
phone?
be like essentially like a have and have not situation, like who can afford the AI bandwidth and usage and who can't. And like that's really where the AI valuations have gotten so large, where you see OpenAI worth tens of billions of dollars, hundreds of billions, maybe $1 trillion. You see Anthropic, they just raised, I think they've agreed to another like several $1 billion. They're going to have a $60 billion valuation. I don't even know how much money 60 billion really is.
Right.
What's $1 trillion? Some of these companies are $1 trillion. You're seeing other companies that are definitely shooting up there into the multi-billion-dollar realm to be these large language models. And at that top level, they're going to have to figure out how to make money on this investment. They're going to try to be the best and at the top level. And then who has the most access to the most bandwidth, the most intelligence
Right.
that can do work? It's going to be a very unique thing that we should, not that we can personally control it, but be aware that there's definitely going to be people that will be able to afford never being turned off. And imagine if you have a processor that if it takes you 10 minutes to do a job and it takes it 2 seconds to do a job, like imagine how many times that 2 seconds compounds if it never turns off.
Right.
So there is like a numbers game that's really big here.
Yeah, for sure. So there's a I've read something the other day about NVIDIA being one of the top companies out that people don't realize that they're so like enthralled with AI as well. But what I wanted to talk about was Willow, the new processor from Google. Is that something that you know a lot about right now? Is that, I'm sure you do, right? Like,
So I can't say like I know everything, the ins and outs of
right,
like quantum computing.
You haven't
but
used
I definitely
it, you
know
just read
Willow.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a big announcement. Like this idea of quantum computing, there's a lot of things that go beyond what our current computer systems can do, the typical sort of models of computers. And NVIDIA figured out how to do GPUs better than anybody else. Earlier
Right.
than anybody else.
And apparently they've been fucking mining Bitcoin with all their products, bro. So that's how they're like funding their entire company. Not, I don't know
So-
if that's how they're funding their entire company, but they've been mining Bitcoin for a long time.
Bitcoin mining and processing graphics for video games was like NVIDIA's strong suit.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so,
Selling the processors to make it happen or whatever.
Yeah. So there was a time when Elon Musk, I guess, requested a supercomputer and they built it. And that's what became the first AI computer. Maybe that was for Tesla. Maybe that was for OpenAI. Because Elon Musk was early on with them, even
Yeah.
though he's not anymore. But yeah, NVIDIA built this first supercomputer and it gave remarkable capabilities. And now they're building these massive data centers to run these GPU units. The quantum computer, though, is like a whole different level. It's a whole different technology. So imagine like silicone. There's been this history of like building chips, and I'm no like total expert by any means, but silicone chips have been around for a long time. 80 years probably, maybe a little bit longer, processing chips and condensers and like hardware. And there was this, I believe it's called Murphy's Law, that said like every 2 years the chip capacity will get faster and better, okay, and it'll get cheaper. And that always made computers like always get better
And always get cheaper. It's a win-win.
somewhat.
Absolutely,
Yeah. But imagine the chip that they built it on can only contain so much information.
For sure.
And imagine they maximized it. They can't fit any more capability within that medium. With the quantum computer, they've gone to like a whole new medium where they're using light and photons and like really
Third
quantum
dimensions.
physics.
That's
very interesting things.
That's why I wanted to tap your brain on the multi-dimension thing, where they're getting like computing like answers from other not realms but other like dimensions.
So there's a lot of craziness when it comes to quantum because like
And they don't
it's
even know
hard
how
to, it's hard
how
to
it's-
always explain it. Not a lot of people can explain it. Maybe it's not even explainable.
I don't think it's
You know?
explainable from what I've been reading. Like they don't even understand like how it's like actually processing in other dimensions to compute these answers.
One of the cool things that I've been working on, I guess I can talk about it now. Like I filed for a patent.
Okay.
Hey, let's
yeah,
go.
Let's go, right?
Big
Right?
boy.
Heard it here first.
Big boy news.
So I discovered a numbers pattern back in 2005, right? And I really thought it was cool and it made a lot of sense to me, but I didn't have the sort of technical chops to like do anything with it. I didn't really I thought that it was important, but I didn't understand how to best apply it in academia. So I got into technology and like really didn't look back. Well, over the with AI coming out, I started like teaching the AI this concept. Hey, do you understand this? Do you understand this? And probably 18 months ago, it sort of helped me write a proof. The AI wrote a proof, something net new, didn't exist before. I taught it this thing, created a proof. Super cool. I was like, well, hey, this is neat. Over time, this has gotten better and better and better, the AIs. And the more I've taught it about this concept, the better it's understood it.
Right.
When I was in October up at GAI World, I met with a couple people. Chawan Kang is one that I really appreciate. I think he's totally the man. I got to show you a picture of him because it's I showed him this model And he was like, Chris, this is like a very elegant and beautiful thing. You should really work on it further. And I was like, okay, that sounds cool. Let's try that. Plus, he's originally from China, got his PhD, worked in nuclear physics, worked in societal, economic sort of modeling with numbers, all these things, polymath to the top tier. And he's the one that was like, hey, Chris, there's something here. So I took more time to really figure out, like, what could we do to perfect this numbers model? And I ended up creating a 130-page plus or minus, like, dissertation or thesis or mathematical treatise on this numbers model. Mm-hmm. Well, from that, I started, like, really tapping the AI, like, hey, how could this be involved in cryptography? And it was like, hey, this could be utilized in a completely new way. So we pushed into a new science and a new mathematics that if there's a quantum computer, in theory, that quantum computer could compute math equations so fast, and not just one at a time, but all of them at one time. And it could crack any encryption, so all of your data could be taken.
Right.
This system that we've developed, we believe to be quantum resistant. So in the future, when you go to have your data and there's quantum computers out, how do you know that it would be safe? We feel that with what we have built, it would enable us to have a safe net that we, even with these computers that can process a lot, that we wouldn't give up our data automatically because these systems are out. We also put in work for a detection threat system for quantum. So imagine, like, you have these nation states that are going and just collecting data off the internet. Maybe they find the entire IRS database out there, because there's a database with the IRS data with everybody in America's data in it. Imagine they pull it down and they can't break into it, but they're just saving it to decrypt it later.
Right.
You know, there's an issue there. So how do we protect ourselves in the future from bad actors that are acting now to harvest our data, even if they can't penetrate it? Like getting a lock safe, and we know that there's gold in it, but we don't know how to get in.
Yeah.
Eventually they're going to get in. And that's one of the things that quantum sort of permits. So with our system, we're trying to show how this can be saved. And what's really cool, I don't know if you guys can see this, but with AI, we've been able to build our user interface. And this is sort of what this looks like for quantum key generation and protection in the future of technology. So
Wild,
if
bro.
I've ever had a unicorn
Insane.
idea,
It is
this
wild.
is one of those. I think we're putting together a really cool advisory board, and hopefully we can get like some government contracts or some Fortune 100s, or work with some labs that want to test and verify this, because we don't want to just say, hey, we're two people over here that like math and have some AI and have an idea. How could this really secure all of our devices?
Right.
You know, so we'll see. So that's one thing that super exciting.
That is
probably
very
like
exciting,
deeper than most people ever go, but
That's
I think we're
incredible,
at that
man.
forefront.
And that's what we were talking about earlier, being on the forefront of it. You know, when we're all saying, you know, oh, we can do Midjourney, you're over here going, no, bro, like, go ahead and play with Midjourney. Like we're light years ahead of what you guys are
ahead.
playing with.
Midjourney seems like, I mean, it's still obviously it's still being used on the regular, I'm assuming, by a lot of people, but like now we're at the point of like that even though it wasn't that long ago, it feels like a distant past in this hyper, I don't know, what is the light speed we're going with AI and how fast, like the stuff you just showed me, way beyond anything I've seen.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and you're in the, I mean, you're, like you said, a pioneer. I love that that mentality of being like the first somewhere, first man on the moon, first man to beat a case with AI.
Yeah,
You know what
I
mean?
wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, I want to talk
too.
about that, and I think that's really astounding and fantastic.
'Cause
Actually,
you've done it
This-
multiple times now. You not only used AI to for a legal matter when it came to your house and boundaries of your property lines, right? But you've also used it against Facebook to try to get your group back.
Yeah, so going back to that polymath idea, I've really tried to think of like legal, as a space. Like, it seems like there's a lot of words when you talk about the law. And if the law is all about words and it's a game, how well will AI play this language game? And
Better than I can tell you that, bro.
it's really good.
Yeah.
All right. And if you're a good operator that knows sort of the fell points on AI, especially the AI that you're using, you can do amazing things. I built in 2022, before AI came out, I built an accessory structure on my property called a shed, I guess. Right? Like
Called some shovels.
96 square feet, smaller than what the building code requires. There was nothing on the website saying you need a zoning certificate. And I live on a private drive, so it's not visible or accessible to the public.
Sure.
Right? And
Private area, private drive, yeah.
Yeah, and there was no written signed complaint as required by 24-1 of the zoning code, and considering it's a private drive and there's no consent and no problems like reported, was it an illegal search of our property? I think so.
Right.
There was also some due process issues that we dealt with, and really we placed this thing in our backyard. Like in every textbook example of the zoning code, we placed this in the right spot. Somehow we got just the raw end of the stick from the government. Like, I think it was the arbitrary exercise of government power. And if they're going to do it to me, they're going to do it to everybody because they can, not because it's just the status quo.
Right.
And we make the rules, we enforce the rules. We don't got to follow the rules. If that's the MO, that's a scary thing. So knowing that this was a small shed, knowing that it was worst case scenario, I have to move it or destroy it or something like that. Like, I thought, why not try to use AI to fight a case? Well, honestly, when I got this issue, like, there's a whole process in zoning, and I don't want to get like all the way into it, but you go to a variance hearing. If they don't give you a variance, you're supposed to be able to go to common pleas court. You're supposed to get documentation when you ask for it. County didn't give it to me. It's well documented. Had to like fight this. But imagine I got a citation. I got ticketed for being a property owner that built a shed on my property.
Right.
And like, not just like a small misdemeanor. Imagine this could be something that's a misdemeanor that's a $150 ticket per day.
And after
They put a lien on your house.
Yeah.
This is serious stuff. A, like, I feel it was an illegal procedure, which it was. And B, they gave me a citation before I had my rights of due process in an appeals court, right? In fact, next week I go to appeals court to see if I get my permit. I don't know if they're going to give it to me. I think they're going to, because I'll take it to the Supreme Court of Ohio, then to the great Supreme Court of this land.
Right.
I don't care at this point. But the AI,
You're hoping they do. You're like, God, man, I hope you give me some more ammo to make this thing.
So I don't want to go through. People can look at the filings. I mean, we could always put the case number out there, or the case's number. But imagine I had a criminal case. Okay, had to go to criminal municipal court with the people that really had some really bad issues. And I had to go to court several times. Get dressed in the morning in front of my kids. Yeah, I'm considered a criminal in our county because I built a shed that matched my house.
Yeah.
Craziness. They shouldn't have that much power.
Absurdity.
But with AI, there's so many filings. You got to do a notice. You got to do a notice of appeal. On the civil side. On the criminal side, you can ask for a bill of particulars, which means what are they charging you with? And I'm in zoning, but this would work for anybody. Get pulled over. Okay, county, tell me exactly what you have on me. You have to give it to me. That's called a bill of particulars. You can ask for it during a filing, a form. You can't just say, hey, give it to me. You got to write it professionally. A lawyer's going to charge you $1,000 for that form. You can do it if you know how to, and train the AI a little bit on local jurisdiction. It takes a little bit of thought, but you can literally do it on the fly in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you can do other things. Like, imagine if you get illegally searched. Okay, and if it's an illegal search, where's the warrant? Okay, so is there a warrant out there for your illegal search of my property? If not, did you illegally search me? Because that seems like that's a constitutional issue.
Right.
Okay, so also, what's interesting with AI, like I'm Native American, I'm part of the Pikwishani tribe, and according to the Northwest Ordinance in 1789, this was signed. After 1776, this is America. Now, when Ohio and sort of 5 other states got purchased, there's a rule saying that Native Americans are never to be disturbed and their properties are never to be invaded or taken away from them unless acted on by Congress in a state of war.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So I think they don't even have jurisdiction to make a decision on my property.
Right.
So the AI, I'm throwing it into the AI, and the AI is like, yeah, that's still in the books, still law, still should be applicable. So imagine over this time frame, I've been to court several times. AI has filed so many of the filings. It would be $50,000 or $100,000 of filings that I've been able to do to AI through the legal world, and I'm not a lawyer. I'm a smart guy, no doubt about it. I've read, I'm like up to date on it.
Sure.
But if I can do it, and the rate of AI is coming to put on the jurisdiction, like where if you say, hey, I'm in Ohio, it knows you're in Ohio, and I'm in criminal court, it knows you're in criminal court, that AI is going to be able to write a notice,
Right.
an appeal, filing, a motion. There's several motions. Motions to suppress. If you had an illegal search, and they can't give you any bill of particulars because there's no reason, or they don't have the evidence, or they have evidence that they didn't have a warrant, you can then say, well, if you don't have a warrant, I need a motion to suppress the evidence because it was gathered illegally.
Right.
You know, and imagine some lawyers don't even, if they practice locally, won't even do that. They don't even care. It's like a transaction, and they sort of know the people.
They know the judge, and they
And
just.
now, I don't think lawyers are going to be displaced. There's laws especially in criminal court, where the lawyer has the ability to do like plea bargains, and they can talk to their lawyers, but you can't be in the room. So there's like a whole cottage industry built into the legal system for sure, that lawyers will always be important. Lawyers always got to show up to the oral argument, or like me, you got to oral argue yourself, which
Yeah.
I let AI help me with my oral arguments.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Nice.
help me with
That's
my
awesome.
rebuttals, help me with all of that, and hopefully it's super successful and it becomes something that people turn to. And for lawyers, I don't think that they should all be displaced, but maybe instead of charging $500 an hour, they're charging $100 because it took them 15 minutes.
100,
And they're
yeah.
trying to get more people inbound, and they're still a lawyer. There's still a need for it, but maybe they can take on more clients and charge less for some of these activities. Or maybe you can create these documents because you can do a little bit of research on your own, take it to your lawyer to refine, and then they don't have to spend the time
Yeah.
traditionally. So
Here's done the legwork.
Here's
The
what
legwork.
I'm hearing, bro. That there needs to be an attorney that is specifically out promoting, like, I am the AI attorney. Low overhead, high reward. Like it's me, and it's the AI.
Me and AI against the world.
Me and AI have your back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I could see that eventually the courts being like, we got to stop this. You know what I mean? Like he's, because if you're using AI for a court case, it's gonna know more than any lawyer ever, because it's going to be able to dive into other cases that have happened. It's going to be able to look at other instances that have happened and decipher, this case did that. You know,
perfect historian.
Yeah, dude. This law was in 1769. Is that what he said? Like, you know what I mean?
1789, yeah.
1789. So it's like one of those things where it's like a lot of lawyers wouldn't they wouldn't ask you if you're Indian. You know what I mean? And B, they are Native American, and they probably don't even know about that, because that's such an old fact. But AI is like, boom, right on top of it. And if there was a lawyer that was like dressed like Max Headroom, bro, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like imagine like a lawyer that looked like an AI robot and charged a flat fee.
Came in with an anonymous mask.
$300, I'm yours. You know what I mean? I'm using AI to write
win this,
to
yeah.
write everything. I'm presenting it as your lawyer. That's a movie, bro.
That's a movie.
That's a
movie.
that's whoever does it first is gonna get Leo DiCaprio as their
anonymous inspector.
It's bro. That
Hey,
shit
you
be
know,
crazy, dude.
I think you're onto something there, and I want to say, Chris, is so when you were starting this process, with the battle of the shed, I guess you could say, what prompted you to take it to the level that you're taking it? Did you have that much confidence in the AI, or did you think, what do I have to lose? Like how what was your mentality when you were like setting up and you were like, all right, the battle is on? Where's your head at?
So before AI hit, I already was like, okay, I want to fight this. I want to have my property, whatever. And then AI hit. Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. I filed my notice of appeal by hand, like not by hand. I typed it, but had to file that in October. That was a month before this happened because I got a citation. When I got a citation, I was so upset because I should have never got cited. I should have been able to go to appeals court and never be a criminal yet. Like, it doesn't even make any sense that I've won a criminal case and I still got an appeal going on. It's not even chronologically possible by the rules in the law, period. They broke their own rules. So I was already fired up. And then AI came out, right, on November 29th. December 5th, I had not only like the notice filed, I had my evidence list and my entire brief filed December 5th. This is really a funny story. I filed it so quickly that the county sort of fought me to be heard and all of these things. But long story short, I got docketed in July of 2023, okay, to be heard. So it takes forever. It's so slow. Court is so slow. Things are in court forever because they take years.
Couldn't that speed up if AI got involved?
They should.
They should. Yeah.
Speaking of AI, one thing I would change is the transcription person should be an AI. That shouldn't even exist anymore.
Right.
It should totally get everybody. It should be short form oral arguments.
The stenographer.
The stenographer should be totally knocked out with AI. Let's have a stenographer that like manages it all. Make it that everybody can get the transcript for $5 later that evening because we have it in real time and who cares?
Shit, we could have recorded it 20 years ago and got rid of the stenographer.
Yes. So that's a job that should be gone. But going back to, I filed with AI. I was throwing it in and was like, hey, can it even write a brief? The first week I had it, I was so impressed by what it could do. I was just like testing it. Can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? So can you write a brief? It wrote the brief with me in 12/05/2022. I got docketed in 2023 and had our filings to put in our brief. The county said that myself and my wife, we didn't file a brief, and that was their argument, and it should be thrown out of court in our first appeals hearing. Okay.
Jeez.
But it's because we filed it so early, he had to hit back to
to
see
the
what
previous 3 months or
yes,
whatever. Yeah.
Yes, that's what he needed to do, and he failed to do that. So, and it was never corrected on the record. In my opinion, and according to AI, because we filed something, he should be sanctioned.
Yeah.
Okay, because he put something on the record that was illegal. So I filed a sanctioning against him. If you guys want to win in county, you probably shouldn't file stuff like that. The other thing that happened
Pro tip
is that when I went to my oral argument, okay, I went under this judge, and he was a magistrate, which means they're not even like a total powerful civil judge. They have like bosses above them, and they can be overruled. And so a magistrate has a hierarchy in this. But the magistrate that we went in front of was so blown away by our story, they said that this is a cluster. He walked out of the court, came back in, understood everything. In the oral argument, we said, well, here's the lawyer that said we didn't file a brief. We obviously filed a brief. Yeah. And whatever happened, the judge was sort of perturbed and said, you know what? We're going to have your decision in August. Okay. So 1 month away. We're like, great. 1 month away.
Okay.
So wait through August, no decision. And then we wait another month and another month. And then November 1st hits. Still don't have a decision for a stupid shed in a property that's properly placed.
But you're still using the shed, correct?
I don't want to comment yes or no on that. but as far as it goes, November hits, and I file a writ of mandamus. Okay, so this is you shouldn't file this. But for all the lawyers out there, they may love this.
This is not
so
financial
imagine
advice.
as a civil servant, you have a time frame and a job that you're supposed to do, and you're supposed to do it in accordance to the time frame you say.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's 3 or 4 months late on a decision. So I said, hey, as a civil servant, you're not doing your job.
Yeah.
Okay. He did his job that week and denied that first step. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So then we had to file other things like an objection to the magistrate. The AI wrote that. I'm still fighting a criminal case over here. So, like, imagine this is going. So the criminal case, I finally filed a bunch of motions, got my first motion. I had a citation that the citations were so old, it still had your race on it. And it had me as white. And I had to petition the court. I petitioned zoning first, and they denied it. But the court gave me the first motion to be recognized as Native American. They had to look at my enrollment card and things like that.
Man.
But I believe I'm the first Native American in the state of Ohio recognized. So shout out to Ohio. Shout out to Mike DeWine and putting in the Shawnee Museum in Xenia. I don't know if you've seen the Tecumseh stuff going on, but
No.
super stoked about that. So I don't need to go much more about zoning other than next week. I will be at the highest court in Hamilton County. You can watch it on YouTube. It gets streamed live.
Oh,
and,
nice.
And hopefully we win by sharing the arbitrary exercise of government power on this.
You know what? You know what's crazy? It seemed like if a lawyer would have gotten back to them as quickly as you did with AI, like, you know, I understand that, you know, it took so long that it was like backdated where you had to like do the previous 3 months or whatever. But like, would they have recognized it if it was a lawyer that sent it in? Because possibly like the lawyer, you know, is a real person that says, hey, like I dropped something off on your desk on Tuesday. Have you checked it? You know what I mean? Like. Or is it something where it's so detailed and so frustrating for the judge where he was just like, I've got to take the time to read this, and then once you started pushing him, he was just like, we're just gonna push this back. You know what I mean? Like, it is that because I could see that happening on both sides, and where it is so detailed and so correct that it frustrates the same people that are trying to get their money for the city.
So I think
Yeah,
there's a lot of people overworked, for sure.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
I was gonna say something like that. I was like, maybe he was coming at him at so many different angles at one time. There was probably a little bit of like
Overwhelming
overstimulation in the situation, kind of like you're at war and they're just shooting from all sides, and they're like, whoa, we're not even prepared for any of this AI. We're doing an antiquated way of work life, and we're doing the paper system. You know what I mean? And I think that he's coming at him with an AI and coming at him with, I mean, mentioning the fact that Native American side of things, that brings a whole nother dynamic of now, I mean, that's probably a curveball they were not expecting. That was not a pitch they were expecting to be thrown.
They've never seen anything like it. Like, I may be the first, but I'm definitely not going to be the last. County clerks are going to be totally dominated by pro se legal. Whoever builds the first, like, what is that? The jailhouse, like, sort of lawyer cookbook.
Mm-hmm.
You know, dude, they're gonna just be overwhelmed with paperwork. They won't even be able to keep up. It's gonna be an incredible issue. That imagine, like, you could, like, talking about a good phone number. Maybe we do this. Maybe you could have a number people could call and like fill it with a credit card, prepaid,
yeah.
and they could tell about their case, and it would write them the information and mail it to their jail cell.
Right.
You know, and like that AI would probably work pretty well. And if the person's pro se, they are not taking the bar, so they can almost do what they want. You know, and if they do have a litigator, which I do recommend, you know, like, that's one thing. But a lot of people won't. They'll probably just opt out, and they'll slow this sort of bureaucratic system down significantly. One of the cool things that why it's already in place that's sort of hindering this, definitely in like Hamilton County, you can't use a computer in the courtroom necessarily without getting approval. Mm-hmm. But there's a company called Do Not Pay that about a year ago, they said that if you get docketed at the Supreme Court and you wear their earpiece and you say whatever the AI is telling you to say, that they would give you $1 million. Now, I think they recanted it because they were going to get sued, and no one's in the docket at that level that would just jump into AI at that point.
Right.
But now with AI, there's no doubt that you could push this up to get docketed at higher courts. There's filings that the paperwork's just good. So yeah, a lawyer traditionally trained is not going to be able to. They're going to have to employ AI themselves, And I do think that the systems. I won't say it's rigged. Maybe it is. Like I don't think it's a fair system. I don't think it's like jurisprudence. I don't think it's like fair and factual.
Right.
I don't think that the people that I've encountered look at maps. I think that's a very important aspect.
Sure.
If you're making property decisions, is to look at maps.
Right.
But some people make decisions on emotion, like when they get letters of writ of mandamuses, like, hey, you're not doing your job as a civil servant. Okay, I hate you now.
Yeah.
I'm going to destroy you. Now, I did it too because, I have a group and like, what can you do and what's life really matter if you don't like, sort of kick some boxes over, kick some chairs over and like,
Yeah.
like
I think-
see what's around.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're
Punk
gonna-
rock, bro, go.
If
Yeah.
you're, if
I
you're
believe
gonna-
go. I believe go.
Yeah, if you're going to be the first human to use AI to fight the court system, you need to fight hard, bro. You need to make sure that there's a stamp on it where at the end of it it's like, just like you're doing. I did this. We filed it so early that they didn't even see it. So then I sent him, you're not doing your job. It's like being able to have AI keep up with all that is it's going to be incredible, man. I really think that 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, like that story is going to end up coming to light where people like, like we know that we can use AI in court right now because you're doing it, but no one else has heard about it yet, right? So it's like one of those things where 5-10 years down the road, people are gonna be like, did you hear about this Chris Brock guy that fought the court and won? Like, look at all the documentation that AI put out for him without a lawyer.
Yeah, I'd be like the Daniel Boone of AI fighting.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
Chief Redbird, I like that.
You
Daniel
mentioned
Boone.
Pioneer. I mean, that's where we're at with it.
So
What
do you think about Meta and Mark Zuckerberg with the changing the format of using AI as the fact checker? Because from what I'm gathering, that they used basically AI to fact check everything, and it even happened to me. It got to the point where I would post something that had nothing to do with fact checking at all, but it would get pulled off of Facebook for like community regulations, right? But it was obviously I didn't do anything wrong. I wasn't posting violence. I wasn't posting anything. I think I actually like congratulated somebody without saying congratulations or told them that they're doing a great job or whatever. But it got pulled off, and then another one that I did later on that day, same thing, got pulled off. So it's like I know that at one point it got to the point where it trickled so far over that they're like, we gotta dial it back. And I know Zuckerberg's now talking about trying to use more of like an X, like a community guidelines where the whole community gets a voice in on it, and wherever it falls, if it falls on the true side or the false side, then they'll post it on what the community thinks about it, not just what one AI thinks about it. So with him going that direction on letting like the community guidelines over like the AI, am I saying that right? Is that what's happening? So is that do you think that's a smart move?
So I have like a detailed story on this a little bit, like because a lot has changed with Meta quickly.
Oh yeah,
I would say very quickly, 90 days, 120 days, things have changed. So going back to the legal side, feel that I'm winning in court and things are going. I'm running this Facebook group. We have 300,000 members. Everything's great. I go to this conference up in Boston, and we announce some really cool stories breaking, like what you would see normally like The Verge or TechCrunch. Like, hey, this company, Inflection AI just launched a platform for AI, but you could host it yourself. They've raised $1 billion, super smart people, big stories. There's all these things going. I created the group before, but we're just creating all this content during this event. And I got put into a special Facebook admin access to their new AI. Their new AI was supposed to help me do administration of my group. Like, we get a lot of spam posts, tens of thousands of spam posts. I don't approve them. We're sort of don't have the toughest door, but having we want to have quality content in the group.
Yeah.
This AI says, hey, I got your job, Chris. Totally get you. Got it. This is my little AI avatar for your group. This is me now. That's my job. It's like, all right, whatever, Facebook, Meta.
So is this AI? Is this AI bots fighting AI bot? Like
This was an
is
AI bot that would go through, and anytime someone would post, it would look at it, read it, and say, you know what? I approve that post, or I decline that post. Like it was me. And with that, it ended up that it started approving bad content, spam content in a way that the AI that was trained on the post would read it and
Close
take it
that,
down.
just one.
And what happened in October 8th or 9th, Facebook took down the group. They disabled it because it became an AI war. One AI would approve a post, the next AI would say that's spam and give me sort of a community strike, and it went boom, 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 deleted. Okay, and I don't know if there's other reasons the group was taken down. They didn't really give me a lot of content on why it was taken down, but when I hit support channels, it didn't help. They said, nope, you're pretty much gone. Any Facebook admin group out there said, yeah, never been done before, it's gone, kiss it goodbye. So I used AI, okay, and I said, hey, AI, I don't feel this was right. I feel that they over-moderated something. There's this thing called C-230 laws that say, hey, if you're the public forum, you're not supposed to be deleting people's content
Right.
and still have that public forum capability. And Facebook falls under that. So I was telling the AI about this. The AI found the address for Meta's legal team. It's not One Hacker Way. It's a different one, which is cool. It wrote a really cool response and a demand letter that they turned the group back on. We gave them, we sent it out like October 16th. I gave them till November 15th to turn the group back on because I said, hey, they stole our information. They stole our rights. They stole our group. That it wasn't a fair moderation process. Please give it back. And November 14th, they turned me back on.
No shit.
So, A, the AI wrote a great letter. B, it hopefully made an impact, and they were over moderating on Meta, big time. Like, and I don't think they need to like not moderate at all. But what's happened over the last few years, we saw it first in the ad tech space on Facebook and Meta that you couldn't really run ads the same way you could a decade ago.
Right, for sure.
And it just got changed, and then like there were so many memes that you've seen with your friend gets put in Facebook jail, can't post, they don't even really know, or maybe they have a sense of humor, or maybe that just doesn't align with somebody and they're banned. It was too much. It was too much of a
Overreach.
censorship
Yeah.
overreach. And it's good that it's opening back up because Meta is sort of a new home. A lot of people migrated from Twitter X to Facebook again because Facebook was sort of cold for a while and the group functionality was cool, but most people were in Snap or TikTok or Instagram or another social network. Facebook was sort of this older thing.
Yeah.
And I think Meta now, with this new movement to open speech, this new possible ban on TikTok, Facebook can rip that sort of video reel concept pretty easy.
Super easy, yeah.
So I think Meta is starting to become an ecosystem again that they know they need to attract people, and they can't lose them to platforms like a True Social that
Right.
shouldn't even exist.
The only
In
reason
theory-
it does exist is because of the overreach that has happened.
Those people got banned. Where else are you gonna? They're gonna go to. They're gonna go somewhere.
Right.
You know. So I think it's better that we have like. I just always like free speech. I think you should be able to say whatever you want to say. You should be able to assemble any way you want to assemble. Like, and then we have a Second Amendment. Maybe you have the right to know that people out there have guns. That if you say too much, maybe there's a big issue, and that's how the United States was formed. It's a very primitive concept, but it's
Yeah.
a very important concept.
For sure.
And we want to have the ability to have free speech. I think it's a very libertarian concept, or just an American concept of being able to say what you want to say. And Facebook banned you. And like, what does that mean? What does that mean to be banned from the metaverse?
Right.
What does that mean in the future to be banned from OpenAI? Because you can get banned on OpenAI. Don't ask it crazy stuff. Don't think you're Walter White. You probably will lose your OpenAI account forever. What does that mean? What does that mean if you don't have access to AI or social media
Right.
or your phone?
In
you
20
know?
years, it could be detrimental.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy to think. Yeah, for sure.
So
Man, all right. Well, let me see. You got some stuff coming up there, bro. You've got because we're gonna wrap up in about 20 minutes here. So we've already talked about the agents and the way to build with AI, right? Or is that's something that you want to elaborate on?
So with that, I would say that this year we're going to build a lot of AI agents, meaning you're going to start giving job tasks to AIs.
Oh, okay. All right.
know?
Yeah.
So here in the store, it'd be amazing if you could come up to a screen and we can allow people to use an AI to create the image they want on a shirt, and maybe put that on the e-com side. So that's the AI agent we should build in 2025 here.
That'd be
there should be a
incredible,
couple other
dude.
things.
I mean that especially with the DTG printer, you're able to print 16 million colors. So if you do want a dinosaur eating ramen noodles like out in the forest, we can print that and put it right onto a T-shirt, ship it out to you.
Straight up.
Yeah.
It would be very simple. Yeah. That's one of those things where we're customizing with, AI and a mixture of imagination. I'd like to maybe be able to put, even if someone wants their own little they did a collab with us or some degree, be able to put that to it or something like that.
Yeah.
Get our branding out there, inside at the very bottom, almost like a little caption,
Yeah.
built-in caption.
Custom made by AI through the native brand.
Yeah, the data brand.
Yeah.
Boom. X. That's the thing is we talk about how fast AI is, but when I look at an image if I'm on, Facebook or scrolling through Instagram, whatnot, I can definitely tell when it is an AI vibe. How long until you think that this AI is going to be so seamless that you can't tell? It won't have 6 fingers. I know some images have their hands all kind of all mutilated and their faces are kind of weird and they got a little bit off. We looked at AI earlier where it was Joe Burrow and Joe Rogan in the
That
same
was pretty
room.
spot on.
Pretty spot on. Pretty amazing. So there's kind of a gap in some of the images I've seen over the last probably the last 6 months. You know what I mean? So
It depends on which platform you're using. Midjourney, and it all goes to rules and guidelines, and that's going to be interesting too. Imagine that we have AI that can do anything, and then people say, "Well, you can't do that. You can't do that. That's copyrighted. You can't do that. You can't learn that book. You can't learn that image. You can't learn that painting style because it's still in the public or not in the public domain yet." Stuff in the public domain this year, Popeye hit the
Popeye.
public domain. So and
Nice.
not maybe the most modern version of what he looked like, but the original one, the Mickey Mouse one's
Mickey
definitely in the
Mouse,
public
Yeah.
domain.
Steamboat Willie.
Yeah. So you'll see this stuff entering, but imagine there's some groups like ChatGPT. It has DALL-E. DALL-E will say, "I can't make that image."
Yeah.
Where Grok's system, XAI's, will 100% make it. It'll make a celebrity image. Midjourney will sort of sometimes make a celebrity image, but sometimes not. But they're putting in guardrails. It's not because the AI can't do it. It's because the people that are managing the platform say you can't do it.
Right.
Or they haven't licensed it. So it's very interesting. It depends on what you're trying to accomplish, which platform's going to work best for you. Maybe it's an ethical question. Maybe it's just, I want the best system. So we're
lot of
moving into a
gray
weird
areas.
world.
Gray areas.
Super gray.
It's so gray. I'm listening to you and all I am seeing is gray. There's no clear cut anything. It's wild, wild west. That's what it sounds like. We're in we're literally in the digital wild, wild west. That's what it sounds like to me.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of one of the original creators of the Atari video games. William something. He used to be a fan of the brand. I used to talk to him pretty regularly, through online. But when he was talking about he was like, we're building these video games for the Atari, and he's like, we had no blueprint. So when it came to a baseball game, he's like, we didn't know how to even create it because we've never done a baseball game before. So we did it overhead, with the 4 the 3 bases and home plate, and then a little square ball, and then just to give it depth. When you hit the ball, that little square would just get bigger as it went across the screen, and then it would get smaller to give it that view that it was up in the air.
The POV, yeah.
Yeah, but he was like, we didn't have when we were creating all these games like Pong. He's like, we didn't there was no blueprint.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just like let's create a game that'll work. Like
Yeah. That game we talked about on Sega Game Gear, that MLB game where like Frank Thomas.
Oh,
that's how the
yeah.
home run
The
was.
Big Hurt?
Yup.
was that the name of the game, The Big Hurt?
No, it was MLB. It was the Sega MLB. Like
With that, he had a big ass bat too. Frank Thomas did, right? Or no, that was the Griffey game where he had the big oversized.
yeah, this
bat.
was like all the players are like even whatever, but I loved the White Sox because they had Frank Thomas and he was the best hitter. But when you would hit a home run, the ball would go to the top of the Game Gear screen and then would go over.
Yeah.
So they did use that same,
Blueprint.
that's very
they
smart.
just created.
Wouldn't even think about that. That's
Right.
It's so genius. It's just the thing where we're at now is like this idea of human genius and creating something from scratch is now going to be antiquated. And
I mean, look at the baseball
old
games now,
school.
bro. Like baseball games now are like almost realistic to the point where when. Back in 1999, we were like, "Look at these graphics, dude! Like, it really looks like LeBron James."
Right. Now they are comparing in the original. He's been around so long. If you look at the original LeBron to the current 2024,
He looks like a Star
2K.
Fox character in the first one, dude. Just,
Right.
just triangles.
Yeah, the box heads.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now they're looking so into it. You can look down at like his hairline down to like what's happening on his chin. So it's pretty amazing that that's come that far. But I mean, I don't think it's gonna go. It's gonna go way further. It's gonna come to the point where we're gonna feel like we're on the court. We're gonna feel like when you're seeing like an NFL production, their cameras look like it's a video game almost. So it's already there.
It's weird that the 8K is what looks like the video game. You know what I mean? Like when you see the 8K footage where everything is like super crisp and how we do the 60 frames a second thing here. It's like it looks so good that it looks fake. It's like it looks so good that this looks like a video game. That doesn't make any sense. Like you would want the video game to look like the realness, but now that we're at 8K, it's like it looks like the video game.
But I think that is more because the video game camera angles are not normal to what they originally were in the actual broadcast.
I can see that.
So the camera
The
angles,
blurred backgrounds and all that, all
So,
the little things.
exactly.
That really...
So like the angles that the Madden games are giving you, they're not getting them when you're watching the broadcast live on your TV. So you're getting a new angle, but they're adding that 8K. They're putting it in those spots where the video game does highlight normally. So basically, they're probably taking pro tips from
Bro, I just
video
had
games.
I just had a thought. Like, how long until they put a camera inside Joe Burrow's helmet, where you can do a point of view, like a quarterback point of view?
Not far. They're probably
Like imagine that, where you can just
they've already done that.
like how Amazon on Thursday nights you can swap over and you can literally, it can look like Madden where they'll show the routes and everything. That's crazy.
The next level, they do a great job of that.
Like you should be able to just one button, boom, be able to do that. Now you got Joe Burrow's view, dude. Like it wouldn't be something you want to watch all the time, but highlights on that would be insane.
Oh, insane. Yeah. I mean, it'd be cool to see like a tiny camera on the football,
man,
and then like just
get dizzy as it spins,
bro. Yeah. But could you imagine like being the running back and seeing the ball,
right?
And you're just like, I don't know. There's something to it.
Oh, they're gonna come up with something. You guys mentioned a second ago, like Pong and those games, right?
Yeah,
sure.
Like imagine this is like a bad view of it, but sort of between Pong and baseball, there'd be like Brick Breaker. Right?
Oh shit! Look at
so
you, bro.
That's cool.
You can ask AI to build a Brick Breaker game where the top part of the game spells native, and that's the bricks.
No way.
And it just builds it. Gives you 3 lives, would do scoring, builds it right on the fly. So something that, imagine how that team was doing groundbreaking stuff in the 70s and early 80s, and we're going to build this, and it took teams and distribution and
you just did that
crazy
in
work.
30 seconds.
You just do it now, just when you're talking on a podcast.
That was a pretty sick flex, though.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm already in. We can do the Redbox logo, and then take all the white of the word native. Take that out. Where if the ball gets stuck inside the end, that's just popping back and forth and trying to
breaking the boxes.
Yeah, dude.
And then maybe like when it's popping off, little like eyeballs are the things that
right.
Are, like,
it shatters into an eyeball.
Yeah, an eyeball, like maybe an alien head or a robot head. I think the speaker bot head. But like, we've talked about the speaker bot numerous occasions, answering questions to guests that come into the lab. What do you think? How far out are we talking for something like that? Because we have the receiver in the very back of behind the speaker bot in the hallway behind the actual wall where the lab is.
Okay.
Getting a receiver, given some kind of I don't know, attachment, or to remove that receiver and put something there that someone could literally come in and ask a question to the speaker bot, like maybe history of native or just whatever they. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, so the just to let you know, the speaker bot has a tablet as a head.
Yeah.
It's one of the Amazon tablets, so we're able to.
That's cool.
They're able to, say, "Hey Siri" or whatever it is, like for the Amazon thing. So if you're able to change it somehow, so instead of saying "Hey Siri" or "Hey Alexa," it's "Hey speaker bot," and then able to ask it a question because the stereo is hooked up to it. So like all the speakers in the speaker bot, they all work. So
Okay.
all we would need is just a microphone from the tablet for somebody to speak into, so the robot knows that it's talking to him. So I don't think it'd be as hard as we would think. It's just the getting a different prompt name, and then having the operating system be able to Google anything that it needs.
So 2 years ago, I would say that you'd never be able to like pull it off. A year ago, I would say, well, you can pull it off, but there's going to be some latency, and you're going to have to wait 12 seconds or 20 seconds for an answer, and that's not going to be cool.
Yeah.
I think we're moving into like real-time API audio, so we should do that in the store this year, and then welcome people in from all around the world to see how they can interact with interactive retail experience. Let's do that in the store, and I think the speaker bot being audio first is awesome,
That'd be
because
crazy, dude.
That would be goals.
to
It is
render
goals.
video takes a little bit more rendering, and it like causes more latency, but very
audio. Yeah.
A team that I know very well, Data Monsters. I'm on this AI incubator
Data
group
Monsters.
out in Palo Alto. They built the AI hologram for the CTO of NVIDIA. So a few months ago, there was a really big conference, and you could go and talk to the CTO, and he was like a hologram, and was trained on the personality, the voice, and sort of the thought process of the CTO.
That's crazy.
And it works. I mean, so it's just a matter of time for us.
That's sick.
Real quick before I forget, Sam Bankman-Fried, his cellmate, Puff Daddy.
Puff Daddy. How did I forget
How
that?
crazy is that? How is nobody talking about that,
I
dude?
have no idea.
Diddy is cellmates with Sam Bankman-Fried, the same guy that just swindled everybody out of all that crypto.
Oh,
Yeah, he was that San Francisco dude that
they
was
don't have any attachment
FTX.
detection, do you?
FTX. Yeah. No, they're both in the Brooklyn jail up there though. Jail in Brooklyn somewhere.
I'm just waiting for a list to drop.
Well, how did he get sent to New York though? Isn't Sam from California?
He was living on an island, I think. So he got extradited or something.
Yep.
You don't do financial fraud. That's probably like a New York crime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy though. I'm blown away that Diddy is cellmates with him.
They're going to
That's-
come out with like a token.
Oh,
meme coin or something.
100%, dude. 100% they're in there working on something right now because Diddy's not going to rest. He's not going to sit there and just do his time. He's going to think about how to make money and how to especially if you're sitting in the same cell with a crypto genius. If he is a crypto genius, I don't know.
He
dude,
actually, weird fact, Sam Bankman-Fried invested early on with Anthropic, and Anthropic now has $60 billion valuation, and he was early on, and I think when he lost his assets, they took the investment into Anthropic. So the guy was
Jesus.
like, who knows, like so turned on. Like, and then what's crazy, what you see like the image engines when you talk about like blockchain. I don't know if you remember like the NFT movement, but let's say like having an image that looks similar, like monkeys, like the Bored Apes, and like being able to change it 10,000 times. That was probably early on AI, like AI image generation at scale.
yeah.
So a lot of that stuff came out of murkier places or blockchain or NFT, and like now's mainstream. So
Right.
here we go. But
That's wild, dude. So I saw a photo the other day of you and Matt Rife at the OSU game.
Nice.
Yeah, bro. We
Yeah.
got to talk about that because he's one of the hottest comedians on the planet, and he's from Columbus. And so, like, you guys were hanging out in a suite together at one of the games. Like, did you guys talk ChatGPT, bro?
we did. Shout out to my boy Sean for getting me into the Ohio State Michigan game.
Oh,
it was
wow,
pretty
dude,
wild
right, yeah.
that Ohio State didn't win. I guess it's given them the impetus to like sort of probably win out now. I think,
Yeah.
Like, God loves Notre Dame, but I don't know if they're going to be able to pull it off against Ohio State.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so we're in the suites and things like that, and Cardell Jones, which was a former like QB for Ohio State, was there, and we started talking about CBS and stuff like that, and then got introduced to Matt. So what I talked to Matt was like, hey, what is this movie you're in about, like The Private Eye or The Inspector or something like that? Because I know my boys have done some clothing, and he's like, okay, well, I've done different things in my world, and like I guess that didn't hit as well as he hoped. So that was insightful, but now I got to watch it. I got to like figure out
It's
what that
good.
movie's
It
about.
it's a good movie, bro, and it was him. Before he popped off too, which is crazy. Like that was like not a young Matt Rife, but a ripe Matt Rife.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Pre-fame.
So he's now like, top of his game. So we were talking about like AI, and asked him like, hey, are you using AI? And he's like, no, like, I like to be authentic. And if you're a comedian, totally makes sense. You don't want to like let AI start writing your jokes necessarily. But I was like, hey, it's not just that you want to use it for. Like, imagine you're getting into a contract. You got all these lawyers going back into law. Why don't you throw that through AI and say, what's the best things for me? What should I know? What should I really ask my lawyer about?
Yeah.
Just do it as an analysis. If you're going to do stuff like that, like with any type of text, it's a great win. So we talked about AI, how he could use it, how he could take it to the next level, and we talked about the love of Ohio. Like I know that like in this meme culture, Ohio hasn't been that cool term, but we got some cool stuff coming in from Ohio and some cool people. Matt Rife's definitely one. So yeah, really cool experience hanging out at the game.
That is cool.
Me,
man.
Matt Rife, and a couple buddies and some beers.
Yeah, man. Yeah, shout out to the entire Private Eye crew too, man. Jack Cook and Denzel
Denzel's awesome. Yeah.
and Hope. Yeah, they're all just great people, dude.
Yeah.
It's like that's young Hollywood right there.
Dude, for sure. I mean, we were like, when we got the podcast with them, it was it was eye-opening because I didn't realize how local they got their talent, you know what I mean? And when we were sitting on, the podcast with Jack and just kind of getting to know him and what Denzel had done, doing a movie with Denzel Washington, and we're talking about
Black
Denzel
Panther.
Whitaker, yeah.
Black
Panther. He's just they have all this talent in one film, and it came and it got its shine for a little bit, and then it didn't seem to twist where I thought it was going to go. I thought this was going to be like a cult classic.
Yeah.
That was when I
It
thought
still could
it
be,
still
yeah.
could be. Yeah, it's early in that infancy stage, because I mean now Jack's still doing promo for it. I still
Yeah.
see him doing promo, and he's doing it mostly by himself,
Yeah.
which is pretty amazing. His resiliency on that. And,
Passion project,
huge,
bro.
huge shout out to Jack, man. Jack's awesome. We got to go to the premiere.
Nice.
Yeah, it was awesome. That was a great time at the Esquire in Clifton. So that was a great time. And it was just like the vibes were amazing. Everyone was like high energy, and they had a whole they got to answer a bunch of questions. They all got to stand up there. We took some selfies with some of the cast. It was a great time. Got to walk down the purple carpet.
Yeah.
That was kind of
Yeah.
cool, the purple carpet. So yeah, man, I'm wearing purple tonight actually. We're out here.
Yeah,
Speaking of
bro.
like you're different, man.
So Chris, bro, you dropped us off an arcade unit today, man.
Yeah,
I
bro.
really appreciate it. Like it's a vintage, it's a real Nintendo arcade unit from 1980. Well, maybe not 19. The sign said 1982, but the actual arcade
Probably
unit
around that time
is-
frame.
Yeah.
that's it. I mean, the story behind it is crazy.
Yeah.
Like he was telling about like the intricacies on a made up, not real but yet real thing. It's crazy. That's
Yeah.
cool. That's so fascinating.
And so with its arcade unit, like, you know, I've always had the idea of like I love old school games, the Super Mario's and, you know, the Zeldas and NBA Jams and whatnot, and being able to have something like that in here to tie that nostalgic factor is super dope. But like I really feel like you're biting at the bit to really turn this into something that's just different from any other arcade unit. Like the pinball machines that you do, like I've seen one just from your phone, but like I've got to see one in person, dude, because he does the pinball machines that you can play thousands of different pinball games, and it's a TV that's actually dropped into an actual pinball machine, so you can just swap out games, and that shit to me, dude, is like it's like Windows 98, but on, you know what I mean, like when you can play that Spinball or whatever that's Planet Space, I think it was like, man, it was one of those standard games that came in like Windows 98, like, you know how you can play like not euchre, but
I remember like the little pinball game that they had on like the old Microsoft games.
yeah, it was Space something. Let me see. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Space Invaders.
I think there's a lot of
Windows.
nostalgia for the past, but we live in the modern world where
Space Cadet.
there we go.
Yeah.
That it's cool to have like throwbacks, but like how do you make it? Like we also have iPhones, so how do we live in this world of like hyper reality? Like, and when I was a kid, like we had arcade machines, we had pinball machines. They were big, they took up space. It was a whole vibe. So my thought process was like, how do you build the ultimate man cave solution? It has games and it's cool and has memorabilia or whatever, but it would be like a signature piece, but also fun and like have that throwback feel where, you know, I've always loved arcades and arcade games, but who has the space to have 50 machines? No one's an arcade unless they're dedicated. So
Right,
these
right.
machines are big, and if you retrofit them, they can do really cool things. So we'll see where we can go. Maybe we can get a mad scientist, Mario or Mega Man sort of
Yeah, dude, that'd be cool.
mix
Mega
up.
Man be crazy,
That'd
dude.
be crazy. Yeah. I think it's super-
That Grand Theft Auto 1 with Joe Shiesty
yeah.
would
Grand
be
Theft,
insane.
dude. That Grand Theft Shiesty is gonna be super dope.
Yeah, I killed that logo, dude.
Yeah, you did. Good job.
Yeah,
It looks good.
I know, man. You know, it's like I did the Space Invaders one at first, and it's like, as I was trying to look up, you know, like the most popular arcade units, and you know, Space Invaders, I thought is a good tie to the store, because there's a graffiti artist named Space Invaders who does the graffiti art like with the actual, like, you know, purple Space Invader, but it was like, man, that's like 1978. I don't like, it's like we're more of like 90s futuristic. And so then I was like, you know what, dude, like I really wanted to do an NBA Jam one, but the NBA Jam sides are it's just a basketball with the logo, like the
Right.
NBA logo. That was it. So I was sitting there, and I've been trying to create this Joe Burrow Grand Theft Auto shirt for like probably 2 months now. I've been working on this design, and I was just sitting there, like, and I was in bed last night, and it's like lights are off, wife's sleeping, and I'm like, oh shit, I could do that Grand Theft Auto skin on that arcade unit. And like I wanted to get out of bed and do it right there, dude. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get up and I'm like, go to fucking sleep, dude. Go to sleep and get it done in the morning. You know what I mean? Like, don't like just. But it's like
When
one of those things.
creativity sparks.
Gotta
hit
do it.
Gotta
Yeah.
hit it, yeah.
Yeah,
Because
but-
your brain goes to it.
But I already
Yeah,
had most of the logo already done, because I was already working on it for a T-shirt. So I was able just to like shrink it down, and then not shrink it down, but cut it out the way I wanted to, and just kind of implement everything in there.
Gotcha. Yeah.
It's
One of one.
it's crazy, dude.
gonna be awesome.
It's crazy. I'm so excited for it.
yeah.
It's gonna look so good that Joe Burrow's. I will be expecting a phone call with him wanting to buy it for his house.
Yeah, I'll be expecting as well.
Yeah, it's one of a kind, bro. One of a kind, and you know that logo, that Grand Theft Shiesty design that I did.
Grand Theft Shiesty.
Ooh-wee, bro, it looks good.
Yeah,
It looks good.
2025 Bengals, Shiesty. I think we got a good shot at
Yeah.
running things for the next 5 years.
For sure.
You know,
Yeah.
last year probably like since we're like wrapping up, last year was like Cincinnati. You can be the winners of Triple Crown. You can win every category and still lose.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, you can.
I don't know astronomically if things have changed. There's some blessings going on. I don't know what's going on for 2025, but I do know that it's going to be our year where we're going to see so many great things happen. Our football team's going to win. Our arcade's going to be amazing, and we're going to do some of this AI stuff that next time I'm on, it'll see like, you know, this exponential jump from where we're at to where we're going.
That's why I love having you on, man, because every time you come on, you know, especially with AI and you know, how quickly it advances, it's like every time that you come in here, it's like, oh, that was a thing of the past, dude. Like the first time that we had you on, like Mid-Journey was like the wave, and it was like, you know, it was Mid-Journey and one other that was like popular at the time, and now it's like, bro, that's like the novice. That's the kids app compared to what we're working with now. So I can't wait to see what, you know, when we have you on, you know, 6 months down the road, 5 months down the road, like, you know, you're somebody that we're going to have to tap into more than just once a year, because this, you know, the pendulum is swinging so quickly on this, bro, that like, you know, we need to gather the data. You know, it's like last week's AI isn't this week's AI.
It's moving fast. So yeah, let's plan on that. Let's do that. And let's show the world what Cincinnati's all about. You know, we have fashion, we have AI talent, we have a lot of smart people, we have a really solid vibe. We got some amazing players on our teams, you know. So Cincinnati, I think, is a place to keep an eye on.
You know,
Yeah,
you know
is.
what, dude? I like, speaking of that too. I saw that the Bengals had 5. Was it 5 or 6 of the like highlight games, like the you know, Monday night games, Thursday night games.
Oh, prime time.
Prime time.
Yeah.
It was we were the most team on prime time out of any year, and it was like five of the games were like us on the road. So that just goes to show that, like, even though Cincinnati is such a small town, and you know we're just stuck here in the Midwest, like we're becoming the Dallas Cowboys, bro. We're becoming, you know, the Troy Aikman.
We did
and
play the Cowboys.
You know what I mean? Like we're like, I mean that was America's team in the '90s.
Yeah.
Like I was in Chicago wearing a Michael Irvin and Troy Aikman jersey.
I still think
No
yeah.
justice even wearing that in Chicago.
Right, and America's team, I still believe the America's team should be the Packers, because they're the only ones that are owned by the people.
Right.
That should be America's team. You can literally buy a slice of pie of the Packers. A
Joe
slice
Burrow,
of, slice
dude. Joe
cheese.
Burrow and the Bengals are officially America's
Well, we're not
team.
America's. We're not big enough a city.
We're officially
And the Green
America's
Bay
team.
Packers aren't as big as Dallas, but they're a big enough franchise.
We're officially the
America's team.
America's team.
You think they
I don't know what
behind us?
our stadium is going to be named. Paycor got purchased.
Yeah,
So-
Paycor is now going to be Paychecks.
Paycheck Stadium.
Yeah, no, that's literally it. It's Paychecks, CHEX. It's
Interesting.
Paycor's rival at that, bro.
ugly.
It's their rival that came in and paid.
Detroit is
They
America's
paid like
team.
three,
What?
like
Okay.
what did they pay? Like
Touche.
almost $4 billion, bro. Let's
Yes.
see.
Big money.
Yeah,
Big money.
and that's like that's crazy to think. Like, all right, so how much did it cost to build the stadium? Right, and then what, 3, 4, 5? You know, it's probably less than that. 200 mil, and then you get somebody like, you know, oh, you want to put the name on this $200 million building? Give me $4 billion, and
Billion.
your name can be on this $100 million property.
Yeah.
The math doesn't math to me, bro. Like
Yeah.
I like.
But the attention is worth money. Attention is the highest level of
Yeah, yeah.
monetary value. When you get a lot of attention, I mean, Gary Vee
Yeah,
said
but
attention is now.
But what's the ROI on paying $4 billion?
No,
4.2.
I mean, you're not going to get any ROI on that fast. You're not. I mean, but your name's going to be in shining lights, and it's going to be on a potential Super Bowl contending franchise's stadium.
Yeah.
So like there is something to be said there, and I mean you are getting a little bit of a new age, new cool factor with having Joe Burrow, and he's one of a lot of people's favorite player. We have taken all LSU fans and
Sure have, bro.
moved them to the Bengals. So like there's
Nola loves
Yeah.
us.
Yep. So like you also have that dynamic, and then you also have the dynamic that Joe is even a little bit out of his prime. He's not even a prime yet. He's
Right.
not even hit the stride yet. So we still got a couple years before we're even entering his prime. So
I'm here for Detroit too, bro.
Detroit.
yes, as America's team, I don't know. I like them as the underdog,
I think everybody's rooting for Detroit.
but the underdog is never America's team.
Always, for sure.
It's got to be someone that's like you strive to be, even though no one's striving to be the.
Patriots.
Yeah, you're not trying to be the Cowboys because their franchise, as it sits, is kind of rough. But
Yeah.
you know, they might get there interviewing Deion Sanders. Did you see that?
Oh, really?
Deion Sanders is met with Jerry Jones
Really?
of the Cowboys.
That would be a good duo. I think Jerry Jones and Dion will be homies, dude.
interesting, right?
Yeah, that's
because
cool.
Mike McCarthy is no longer the head coach of the Cowboys. So, and now the Patriots have signed Mike Vrabel, who used to coach for the Titans. So he's now the head coach of the Patriots, and Mike McCarthy's probably gonna interview with, I don't know, who knows? We'll see.
Yeah.
But
Sports talk, bro. Get it back.
Deion Sanders is maybe to the Cowboys.
Yeah, maybe.
That'd be dope.
I thought I saw
I just-
Deion Sanders was in Cincinnati last week.
Yeah, but he's always around. I think he's just he's a well liked guy, man. He's already. But,
We love him, Cincinnati. Like
Absolutely,
he,
yeah, we
he was
do.
an
Yeah, for sure.
awesome player when he came to the Reds.
Loved it, bro.
You know,
but I think as
Neon
a
Deion.
head coach, we're not gonna. Zach Taylor's gonna remain the head coach of the Bengals. So
Yeah.
yeah, but Deion Sanders to the Cowboys. That's an interesting tidbit, and I liked and like it was funny seeing the internet beef because Jordan Schultz, the sports football guy for Fox, announced the news, and Adam Schefter, who's normally the guy that breaks news in football for ESPN, he also announced it like maybe like half an hour or something after Jordan Schultz or a little bit, and Jordan Schultz is on his Instagram post, like the top comment, and he's like, "Love to see that you took my news," and he's like grilling him.
That's
oh,
funny.
it's so funny watching the Instagram beef. I don't get involved or comment or like or anything, but I'll just watch it and I'm just like, this is so funny.
Yeah.
These guys are at the top of the food chain reporting news, and they're just in the comments like, bro, you're literally in my shadow right now. You may be more famous, but don't. You know what I mean? Like,
Can you imagine if you texted somebody like, "Yo, check out this news," and then they just went right online and posted it? You're like, "Motherfucker!"
right? Yeah.
God damn,
Yeah,
man.
you gotta report it. Get out there, get a platform, and drop the news. But
Yeah.
yeah, Deion Sanders, Cowboys. We'll see.
That'd be dope,
Yeah.
dude. All right, Chris, man, what's all of your social media handles? So if because everybody needs to get on your Facebook group. That's one of those things where you've got over 300,000 group members. You're posting in there daily, and it's always great content. It's always the next AI update. It's always things that are happening in the AI world. So if they do try to get a hold of you, is Facebook's obviously your main
Facebook's
go-to.
good. AI for Business and Life. You can like search that. You can find it. You can also put in ChatGPT for you. It'll come up on Facebook.
I love that. I love it was just Chat GPT 4 and then the letter U, all no spaces, and then your group
The
page
group comes
popped
up. Yep. And AI Tinkerers Cincinnati. You can go to aitinkers.org. If you're not in our region, there's chapters near you. It's really cool. It's anybody that's building stuff with AI, that's where we're at. Keep your eye out for other stuff that we're going to launch. Really excited to join you guys. Love what Native's doing. Love what we're going to have this arcade. We're going to have a smart bot. We're going to have a phone system that does some cool stuff.
Bro, I'll advertise.
We're gonna do all this stuff.
I'll advertise anything you want here, bro. We can. We don't even have to put that Grand Theft Shiesty on the side. We can just put your logo and just your business card.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. We'll figure
whole
that out.
business
We'll
card
do
right
something
there.
cooler than that. Business cards are antiquated. Let's do something cool,
Yeah.
for sure. So, and I know we're about to wrap, but let's see if this is whack or if this works. Imagine just on our conversation tonight, built a hip hop song about Native and what we were talking about. Do you want to hear this? See if it's good or not?
Oh, dude.
Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Oh.
Let's
Okay.
do it.
Okay, let's see how this turns out. Okay, and it makes two. There's one that's 2 minutes and 30 seconds. There's one that's 1 minute 44 seconds. I've never listened to them. Let's see what happens.
You just popped this in your phone while we were talking?
Yeah.
All right, bro.
All right, so
Does it have, is it, damn.
all right.
That's crazy, dude.
So imagine that was one. I'm not gonna play it as long. Here's the second version. It like mixes it up. Maybe uses the same text. I don't know the vibe. This wasn't what I was going for, but little rock.
It's
hop.
going to hit.
So
That's insane, dude.
called
That is
Suno. .com or Suno.ai. You can go to Suno.com, Suno.com. Put in any prompt, it'll write your song in any theme, any concept, right on the fly.
Is that free or is that a monthly subscription?
It's free to create a couple songs. Like it's gonna like time you out, but yeah, they're
That's
like.
amazing.
And what's amazing? Okay, so
It is, the whole thing's amazing, but
This
yeah.
is what's crazy. So imagine they have this community, and this community has created songs that they're able to share and upvote, right? So imagine there's the best song out
And
on
it's-
Suno that was totally AI generated, and it's a banger.
Crazy.
And that's the world we're in right now, that AI is able to create so many different things that I don't know if we're quite ready, and I don't know if we even know what's next. But it's pretty cool that we can do that on the fly.
Man, we're gonna like I'm in, bro. I'm already, my mind's already downloading everything and saying like, let's create a cartoon hip hop artist. Let's create like a cartoon rapper, or once we get the alien in,
Yeah.
Lil Mac,
Lil
and then
Mac,
start having him
Mad Mac,
Mad Mac.
because we use Mad as part of the all the clothes in there.
Not bad, not bad. I like it.
Yeah, man.
I think we're onto something. Are you able to save that?
Yeah.
And that, dude,
Yeah, I'll
that's
send it to you.
insane.
That's so dope. Please, that's awesome. Thank you for being here.
Right? Yeah.
thanks for giving us 2 hours of gems,
Yeah.
man. We appreciate
Unfiltered AI.
you.
Bro.
Unfiltered AI from Chris Brock, and hopefully
That's a good website. Unfilteredai.com.
yeah, unfiltered AI.
You got to watch out. I don't know what AI is going to pop up. That's one of the scary things with AI. Like unfiltered AI, there is a lot of like, honestly, pornography sites
Yeah.
that are coming up right now. I'm even seeing them advertised on Facebook. So Meta has like an ads problem. But yeah, unfiltered, I bet that's going to be a very high trafficked
Yep.
URL. So-
It's gonna be like Dave Chappelle. Do you remember that one skit he did from the Chappelle Show when he was like, "What if the internet was a real place?"
Right,
And he's
yeah,
like
yeah,
walking
yeah.
around. He's
Yeah.
like, "Dicks, I got this. I got that. What do you want? What do you want?" He's like, "What is this?" Like I can see that happening.
Black
dude, for sure.
market.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Hold on, man. What you got?
What you got?
But all right, dude, Chris
Yeah.
Brock, I appreciate you for coming in, man. I every time you're here, I love hearing what you have to say, because like I'm always downloading everything. Every time you're in here, I'm downloading these things, and then like I'll go and tell a friend, and I'll be completely wrong. You know what I mean? I'll say something like, "Dude, he's got like a real AI guy that's in his house that like that talks to him," you know. But I love downloading everything, bro, because every time you come in here, it's like we get so much more knowledge of what's to come, and then 6 months later, it's like, oh shit, that's what Chris was talking about.
Yeah. Just
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think part of that too is because we're so like close to the vest. We're able, but we're not necessarily experts, but like we're able to see it on our real time on our devices. And as you're telling us what's happening, we're gonna be like,
There
just
it
a
is.
little, just a little bit ahead of the game, just a little ahead of the game. But I'm also gonna dive into where you're at. Like you sitting, so I'm gonna get a list of some of these apps, and I'm gonna dive into that and do my own due diligence because we've done it before. I downloaded the apps last time we communicated, but now the stuff that you're showing me now is another level,
And it's real time, bro.
It's real time.
It's
That was
like,
pretty impressive. It got our names in that.
Yeah.
Well,
pretty
I have a really
impressive.
good friend. Her name's Helen Todd. She said that essentially we're moving out of the information age. A lot of people talk about intelligence. We have intelligence age, but she's terming it the imagination age. And we're
Yeah.
sort of in that imagination age, So how can we capture that for the future? So thanks so much for having me on. Love to chat with you guys. See you guys soon.
Yes, sir. All right, this is going to wrap up another episode of the Powwow. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. We are looking for some sponsors for our 2025 podcast. We've got some great ideas. We're going to be doing conspiracy theories, interviewing business owners. We're going to have Joe Exotic back on as well.
Excited for that.
Yeah, bro.
Get
for
another,
sure.
Get another 30 minutes in.
A little update on what's happening.
Yeah, and since we're gonna have a new president here in 6 days.
Yep.
So we're gonna see what he's gonna have to say about that because that's what he was hoping for. So we're gonna be seeing what's gonna happen with Joe Exotic, and just hearing his voice that last time was so surreal. So this time we're gonna be in a lot of different headspace
For
going
real.
into this because know what to expect.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, you know what's crazy too when I show people that podcast that we did, they have the same reaction that you and I did when you hear his voice for the first time. They were like, "No way, dude!"
Yeah, right.
And it's like I felt that same way, dude. It's like how are we contacting Joe Exotic? How's Joe Exotic? Because he contacted us, so
Yes,
I thought it might have been skeptical right off the rip. But then he's like, let's, get me on the podcast. Let's talk. And so, like, we didn't know if it was real because we're just talking behind the Instagram wall until that phone call really happened. And then he's like, what's up, guys? And it's like, holy shit, it is Joe.
It
All
is
right.
Joe, and
That's wild.
And the wild part was he had to call us before we actually went live on our interview. So he had to call us to tell us that he was going to call us back. So like that initial like, hey guys, I'm here. When he talked, that cold chill that I felt, I haven't felt a cold chill that extreme. I don't know if it's probably the top time.
And you can see it too in your face, bro. Because I'm over here like trying to make sure we don't hang up the call because I accidentally hung up on him the first time.
Yeah, right.
And every minute it cost him money. So like I accidentally hung up on him because we were trying to figure out how to take the phone call and get his voice into the soundboard. And so it's like, all right, bro, he's here. Let me make sure I don't hang up. So it's like as soon as I hit go, it was like, Joe, hey guys, and then all of a sudden Andrew's like, whoa, fucking Joe Exotic.
I'm like up here like straighten my shit out like, oh man, this guy is like, because I mean you think about it, like this man is like an A-list of A-list. He is literally top of the conversation piece of all of
Across the world.
of 2020. Like we were all stuck at home, and this man who was behind bars who didn't even see the whole Tiger King frenzy ever. He never got to experience it. Never
ever.
got to experience any of it. He didn't even see the podcast until a month before we aired.
He didn't see the Tiger King.
Didn't see the
before.
Tiger
Wow.
The Tiger King. He had been on a podcast and talked about his experience, but he'd never seen the Tiger King because he wasn't able to until he was actually countersuing, and that allowed his lawyer to bring a laptop in and let him view the Tiger King. So he finally got to see what everything was about way after everyone has already stopped talking about this. So super fascinating. Shout out Joe Exotic. Free
Check
Joe
out
Exotic.
this photo. Who would have thought?
What?
Oh shit,
Yeah,
Go back to that. Yeah, there. Okay.
dude, is that Trump wearing a native hat?
That's Trump wearing
And
a native
Joe
hat
Exotic?
and Joe Exotic.
All right, send
That's-
Like on the
that
fly.
to me.
Send that to. We're gonna send that right to Joe.
Yeah,
That's going right to Joe, and we're gonna tell him we're gonna book him for
On the fly.
That's
You know,
crazy.
Fly.
Getting love from celebs.
Dude,
Maybe AI.
I've got to
sure.
download.
Not sure.
I've got to download that app ASAP.
You've got fire apps. We need all the apps. Get all, Chris. You're an ally. We're supporting you. We're in this to the end, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Awesome.
I'm serious, bro. Anything we can do to help you out, man. If you want to bring flyers down here, put them on the counter. If you want a little poster in the window or something, like do you know about AI? Check AI out. Like, whatever we can do to help you out, bro. Like we're fascinated with what I know you're fascinated with what we do. Like I noticed that the very first day you came in here, like we were talking and in the conversation, you were just doing this the whole time we were talking. It's like you were downloading everything that we were doing here, and it made us feel good because it's like, somebody that is in your stature, that sees, that knows the computers and knows like all the digital shit, right? And we're novices at it. Like we're plugging away at like 90s style art, right? But when you come in and you see it and you're like, dude, you guys are killing it. It's like, and then we learn what you're doing. It's like, I'm a fan of you and you're a fan of us. It's like, bro, anything we can do to help you out, like we're here for.
I appreciate it. Yeah, let's make 2025 awesome across the board.
Let's get it.
Yes, sir.
Natty, native, or go for it.
All right, man.
Well, Happy New Year. Appreciate you here, man.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. All right, we're gonna have you back in 6 months, bro, and I can't wait to hear the progress that's going on. What would that'd be July. That'd be summertime. Let's roll.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Let's aim for
Yeah.
a 6-month point. Yeah.
All right, everybody.
Like
I
it.
appreciate you guys. I love you. We'll see you next Tuesday. We've got Matt Waters on the podcast next Tuesday. He's got a live album that he's putting out down there at the
Radio Artifact.
Radio Artifact, bro.
Yeah. I have an event there on January 31st.
Yeah.
It'll be Charlie John and Jordan Frank.
Let's go.
So very excited about that. So
Yeah,
be on the DM.
big announcement. February 1st, we're going to be featuring artists in-house. So we're going to be printing the merch. We'll be selling the merch. You guys won't spend a single dime. All you do is just come to us. We're scheduling it out. So we're having 2 artists per month. You'll be featured on the wall. We're going to create the design for you. We're going to sell the merch, and then we're going to take out the cost of what the shirt cost was, and then we're going to split it 50-50 at the end of the month. So you guys can make some serious scratch without spending a single dime. Jordan Frank and Lantana are the 2 that we're setting up in
nice.
February.
Yeah.
Let's go,
Jordan
bro.
Frank, man. Excited for him.
Yeah.
For Beyond the Stage and the featured here. He's going to be killing it, bro. He's going to be busy.
He's on. But
He's just moving, man.
They're both so hungry right now, dude.
Yeah. I love it.
All right, everybody. See you next week. Love you guys.
We out.
Hey.
Out here. Bye.